Hey there, I'm Critzy Bear. Welcome to, I don't know. Did you know that over the long, horrible, and arduous course of my Cataclysm career, I've been asked multiple times to do tutorials? Like I know anything better than you. It's me, Critzy, Cataclysm Master, I guess, and, something I've been asked about a couple of times is how am I getting through things so quickly? Now, here's a little trick I want to show you right now. Now, this is a pretty basic one. First of all, you go into your key bindings, which is question mark if you don't know that. You go into your key bindings and you search up with that convenient little feature, auto travel. See, now I've bound this key to M, which is, I can't remember what else. I think missions. Who needs it? Who needs that? I could keep track of my own missions. I bound it to M, and when you turn it on, it feels really, really bad. It's just not pleasant to use. You try to get places. Sometimes if you get into between a doorway and a window, it freaks out. You can't move. Sometimes it won't let you open doors because it considers whatever. Now, what this is doing, despite how it seems, it's actually optimizing your course in a given direction, one of the 8 cardinal roguelike directions that you choose, and it's optimizing how many movement points you use in like a couple different tiles away. Not too far, but far enough that going through the woods, like so, you can just cruise on through it. You can just zoom on through the woods. See? I'm on the other side now. Oh, fuck, there's wolves. See, I'm on the other side now. And leaving. Now, this is useful enough on its own, for convenience sake and all. However, little known use also that you can get out of this is, for instance, here I got this basic dude. He's naked. He's got really bad stats. He's not mutated. The only effect he's got on him is the sun's in his eyes. Ugh. What an idiot. Anyway, let's say this dude, I don't know, gets accosted by a runner. This guy. Let's say, like, this distance away. Look at that guy. Oh no, there's literally no way that this guy would, in any circumstance, be able to outrun this guy. And now if you move in a perfectly straight line through these woods, as your instinct would tell you, you would be dead, right? There's a lot of terrain around, and some of it isn't immediately obvious. Like, you look around here, this grass actually costs more movement to move over than this grass. This one costs 100, this one 150. And you're barefoot, and that guy, he's pretty fast. So, if you're trying to abscond from the scene as fast as possible, and you don't have the time to plot out an entire fucking naval course through this minefield of terrain costs, auto movement has your back. Now, you start running, and you go, let's say, north. See, immediately it tells you this grass costs less than that grass. You keep going north. See, I'm just hitting the north key, running through the woods. And already, this guy's getting left in the dust. By the time my stamina is gone, there is no way this dude's gonna have any idea where we are. I'm moving northeast now. See? And we're good. We're safe. Let my stamina wear out in no time. See? Good. Now, in a couple different situations, for instance, you don't use that. You try to brave the woods yourself. You're scared. You're like, oh god, I'm gonna lose another character. I'm so bad at this game. Whatever. You try to go through the woods yourself. You're stepping on all this grass without realizing it. Oh, that's not a basic terrain tile? No. No, it's not. It's actually your death. You're gonna step on that and die. Well, Panic with this on. And now you're golden. See, look at how easily he's breezing through these woods. I mean, he's stepping on a couple bad tiles, but he's stepping on better bad tiles than you could ever dream of. Now, just to show off a little bit, how fast these guys actually are. Let's spawn another one out here in the field. Like, let's give ourselves a running start here. He's pretty far away. You try to run away from him. Running is his whole thing, right? You can't get away. There's no way going across an even playing field you can get away from that guy. That is why it's important to use auto travel in the woods, even if you're in combat. I will swear by it. The only alternative is painstakingly plotting your course through those woods as if you're in the bridge of a starship. This game is so complicated. Now, another thing about these movement costs is maybe you're not running away. Maybe you're fighting something. Let's give my character, here, a basic spear. A simple knife spear. One. Okay. Now, this has a reaching attack. It's useful, but not very useful, because you get one hit in on that, and with the movement cost of this this spike on a stick, that's all you're gonna get. Costs 109 movement points, and if you recall, moving across one of these only costs 100. So you end up at a net loss, because by the time you've hit, that guy's over there already. No skill or anything, you're already in the bite range. Now, with a fast enemy like that, or if you're in the state of this guy, with just a normal enemy, spawn just a regular zombie, please. Ah, there it is. Just a regular zombie guy. You wait. See? He's already right there. Ain't no way. Now, you get into the woods here. This is another use that this auto travel has. You see how quickly I'm absconding from him? Bam, bam. Alright, move a little further into the woods. This is why terrain costs are important. See, this character has no gear whatsoever, except a curtain rod with a fucking kitchen spike stuck on it. And he's fine. Didn't take any damage. Kited that guy really good. All thanks to the wonders of movement costs. Now, there are a couple things that will completely ignore these movement costs. For instance, Zombie Hunter. I hate these guys, alright? They see you, they jump on you. They see you, they jump on you. That completely ignores terrain costs. They just hop on over everything. Unless they can't see you. So, in the event that you're facing off against something like this, where you want to get away from it, this works even in town, but it has a slightly different strategy. What you want to do is not necessarily go for the easiest possible route, but instead go for the route with the most visual obstacles between you and him. And even if, you want to avoid taking, all these bushes and small trees and stuff, even so, you want to do it. Because once they can't see you, they're crawling around on the ground, they need to sniff you out. They have no way of catching up through all this movement-restricting terrain, and if they could see you, even glimpse at you, they would immediately be hopping. It wouldn't matter what obstacles are between you and them. They would be catching up to you. And I've lost a lot of characters to this. There's just no stopping them. Now, in town, unfortunately, this is an in-a-woods world I made for testing. In town, this can be accomplished through just going through houses, even if it seems like it would slow you down. You go through a house, you hop through a broken window, don't matter if it cuts you. You head through the bedroom door, shut the door behind you. It's not going to stop them for long. But it does break eye contact, which means if you do have the stamina and the speed to run away from them if they weren't jumping, you can now. Because now, whenever they get through that door, they're going to be sniffing after you instead of jumping after you. Another thing I do with this movement mechanic is I will get into a situation that I want to fight a big old guy, right? However, I've got caveman gear on, so I'll make like a wrong one. I'll make like a digging stick. And I'll just dig a hole, right? Just one hole. Takes a while. It does take a significant amount of stamina. All right. Yeah, I need a better shovel. Oop. Stone shovel's pretty easy to make too. I'll make a stone shovel. Dig a pit, like a deep one, not a simple pit. A big deep pit. And then some shallow holes around it. Okay? Just basics. Hello, coyote. Nah, dude. Remember to move your shovel with you. Motherfucker. Get the dirt away from there, dude. Ugh. If I just held the shovel, this wouldn't be happening. Alright, anyway. Dig a pit. This seems pretty underwhelming, right? Let's wield our knife spear. However, let's spawn... Let's say a brute. Ain't no way this guy in this state's gonna be able to fight a brute on his own. Those guys are fast, they hit hard, they knock you back. Oh shit, what are we gonna do? Well, you lure him into that hole right there. Whoop. Then when he gets out, you lure him into the side holes. Bada bing, bada boom, he's dead. You see that? That's another use for the movement cost, because the thing about these big holes is whenever, and I'm no coder, I ain't no modder or anything. I go to those eggheads for answers just the same as anyone else does. But in my experience, in my superstitious sailor-like ways, I am convinced that when something falls into that hole, every time they try to get out, they have to do the same checks that they would have to if they were trying to move out, which takes like 500 turns or something like that, and can fail, and if you stun them, they fall back in. They have to try all over again. This is one of the most used ways that I deal with hulks and stuff early on. Like if I run into a skeletal juggernaut, you better believe I'm immediately digging a hole. I've done it tons of times. Because on an open playing field, there is absolutely no way that I'm going to be able to kite around a huge, fast, strong dude like that. So you make your own terrain cost. You make your own little barricades. Now, these things can't be broken. Something walks into this, it costs 400 movement points. Walks into this, 500. And this thing swings with 109 moves per second, and that's with an unskilled wielder. This is a basic knife spear. Now, if you pull this off successfully, that's 5 times you can hit that guy before he can even attempt to get out of that hole. Now, that's not accounting for misses, that's not accounting for, stumbling under your torso encumbrance, or whatever other circumstances you might have going on. And this is one of the reasons why I pick a few traits every time I make a character. Quick, fleet-footed, deft. Because quick gives you 10% more action points a turn overall, regardless of whatever mutations you get, and it's a trait, so it can't be cured, I'm pretty sure. Using Purifier won't get rid of it. Fleet-footed makes you generally faster on any ground, regardless of whatever's going on. Parkour Expert helps a lot, if that's still a trait. Good lord. And deft doesn't actually make you any faster. However, it does make missing way less punishing. So if you're an unskilled character like this and you've got those traits going on for you, you can just walk into the woods and kill pretty much anything you want, as long as you've got, your trusty auto travel on and you're making sure that you're not walking into any corners of big trees or whatever. you can take care of pretty much anything you want, and that works like in town too. If if you're a little smart about it, if you're luring things into like a bunch of benches and stuff. Things can also get twisted all up in shopping areas. They'll use up their turns trying to bash things instead of moving. This has been my convoluted tutorial on movement costs. Movement costs, auto travel. This is one of the cornerstones of most of my strategies. It's why I love spears so much. It's not quite the same as kiting. Not quite. See, with kiting, you're keeping track of all the movements that your opponent makes. Like if you have a cudgel, for instance. You've got a cudgel. Cudgel takes, 81 turns to attack. With a cudgel, as I've established, that's slightly less moves to attack than moving across basic even ground. Come on, where's the guy? Ah, there he is. That's slightly less moves than moving across plain footing. So, as soon as this guy gets next to you, because he's used 100 moves to get across that tile, he's out of moves when he gets to you. And you don't want to attack. I know it seems boring and slow, but you don't want to attack unless he's moved to you, because once he's moved to you, he's used up 100 moves, and you can attack in 80 moves, and it will take him 100 more moves to do anything else once he's got onto that tile. Ah, shit. Coyotes. Alright. I gotta get back to that hole. I did not plan on this shit. Whatever. Oh, did they just want that body? That's interesting. Anyway. I was willing to take him on. Whatever. That is all of the uses for movement costs that I can consider. Basically, to sum it up, keep track of how much movement your basic terrain costs. If these tiles can be deceptively basic. Once you get into the woods, pretty much everything has its own unique movement cost, and that goes for a lot of different terrain too. Not just woods, but swamps, cities, rural areas, subways. A lot of places take a ton of moves, you just don't realize it. And this can be either to your detriment or to your advantage, regardless of if you're kiting things, if you're using a spear, if you're trying to get away from stuff. Keep track of how many moves things take, because that can end up saving you, or making a lot of things that seemed impossible really easy. Anyway, that's been my big talk on movements. Bye. Also, if you want a better tutorial, go watch Vormithrax.